That's part of the job, is making the decisions. I think about this moment a lot, but I was on a bus and a trailer tour. You know, it was one of those days where like everything had gone wrong. The travel had gotten messed up. The bus broke down. The trailer didn't show up. You know, we showed up to the show with nothing and figured it out. Like someone, I think it was the Russell Dickerson crew at the time, like somebody was nice enough to like give us everything.
Yeah.
Like from packs to their kit, everything. Because we showed up with nothing.
Damn.
We ended up, there were 3 of us in a hotel room. I was in a bed, the monitor engineer was in a bed, and our tour manager, front of house guy, was on the floor.
Dude.
He had a little bed on the floor. And he lays down in this makeshift little bed after this like just crazy day of, you know, having to get a hotel, having to figure out how to make the show happen, how to figure out how to get to the next show, just decision after decision after decision. And he lays down in this makeshift bed and he goes, man, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and keep making more decisions.
Yeah, dude.
And I think about that all the time. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, wow, I can't wait to make decisions today. Like,
welcome to the Gigs Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Sanz, founder and CEO of Gigs, the professional career platform and media company in the live events industry. Today we have Allison Noah, a rising star in the industry, one of the few women in her role as stage manager and a standout leader in the next generation of road crews. She got her start at Grammy-winning label Sono Luminus, where she did everything from engineering to photography. And after moving to Nashville, she hopped on tour on a small country tour. In 2025, she joined Lainey Wilson's Whirlwind World Tour and was nominated for Stage Manager of the Year at CMA Touring Awards, the only woman in a category of 8. Allison, welcome to the Gigs Podcast.
thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. You are such a badass, and it's cool that I love this where we haven't met in person yet, and I get to know you so intimately
Just
on the
like
first
this.
time we meet.
Yeah.
So I get to know everything about you now. So
Everything.
thank you for doing this. So you just finished this Whirlwind War. How do you do it? Hold on. Can you do Lainey Wilson's?
Lainey Wilson's Whirlwind World Tour.
There it is. The W's, baby.
Lot of W's.
What was that like? How long were you out? How many countries did you go to?
I actually joined the tour in August. And so I did not do the European leg that they did in the beginning of this year.
Got it.
You know, they're doing an Australian leg next year. That's out right now. So I got a call in August on a Friday.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, we need a stage manager right now. And I was like, oh, okay. And I got that call on a Friday and I was out with them on a Wednesday.
Shut up.
They had done, I think, maybe one weekend of the tour. And
The American leg?
yes, yeah. Started in August. And yeah, like I said, I think they had done one weekend and they had to replace the stage manager. And I got a call.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Was this a relationship you already had, or was it someone you didn't know?
I got a call from another stage manager, buddy of mine, and he was like, what are you doing? And I had just gotten back from a gig. And he was like, I have something for you, and you're going to want to take it if it goes through for you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he wouldn't tell me who it was. He wouldn't tell me what was going on. And he connected me with someone, his production manager for the gig that he's on. I had met that person once. And he called me the next day, whole night of like not knowing what is going on. And he calls me the next morning and is like, okay, this is what's going on. You know, Lainey's looking for a stage manager and it's kind of a right now type of thing. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I am kind of a right now type of person. Let's go.
Are you?
I mean, let's go. Let's go. And so I hopped on that tour and it was, you know, August, September, October, November, 4 months of Weekend Warrior style shows.
3 nights in a row?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. What type of venues?
It was mostly arenas and amphitheaters. It was 12 trucks.
Okay.
On a good day.
What was
11.
the gig you had previously done?
I didn't talk about it a lot when I got out on the gig, but I had gone from a 1-truck gig to this huge, massive arena tour, like basically overnight.
Dude, in the interview, first of all, was there an interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got that call on a Friday. I had a chat on Saturday. Sunday went by. I didn't hear anything. And I was like, maybe it's a fluke. No, you know, maybe I won't hear from anybody. And on Monday, I got a call from the production manager and someone else on the team. And they were like, hey, can you talk now, pretty much? And I was like, yes, I definitely do not have a yoga class that I'm on the way to right now. I canceled the class. I turned around, went home, set up the Zoom call and sat there and I chatted with them for a while. And at the end of the interview, they were like, so do you still want the gig? And I was like, yeah. Yes, I do. And the next morning was Tuesday. I was signing paperwork and I left on Wednesday.
Did you feel ever in this, like, I love that you are a now person. I feel like that's the mentality you have to have on the road, or in this lifestyle of just, oh, you want me to pack up? Let's go.
Here we go.
But did you ever have that feeling of, oh shit, can I do this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm very lucky to have some really good mentors and really good friends in this industry. And I remember calling one of them and I was like, hey, here's what's going on. Like, I was like, can I do this? And he was like, what, are you looking for like a confidence boost? Of course you can do it. He's like, should you do it? Yeah. Can you do it? Yes. He was like, what are you asking me? And I was like, okay, I gotta go then.
So I want you to be not modest for a second. Why do you think he thought you could do it? Like, think about it, for one truck to 12, that's a huge leap. And also, I've never stage managed. I actually don't know totally so much about this role. I want to know everything about it. What about you, like your work ethic and what you've done previously? Was he like, of course you can do this?
You know, it's someone that I had worked with before, and I had been out with him. He had a 13-14 truck arena tour, and when their stage manager needed a sub, he called me. And I went out and I had done that with them. It was like 1.5 shows that their stage manager couldn't be there for. And that was my first time doing anything like that. You know, he called me and was like, you'll be fine. It'll be there. You just kind of hop on. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you get there, you figure out how things are going. Yep. You don't put the power fist down of like, we're going to do it my way. Cause like that doesn't work. And then you keep talking to people, you figure out what they need and how things need to go. And you figure out how you can help. But like, you're not going to do that on your first day out there with them. You know, like the cart is going to go no matter what. And there are good people in every department, all the way through the truck drivers. You know what I mean? They know what needs to happen. And if you just grab onto the cart, it's going to go. And once you know how the cart is going to go and where it's going to go, you can figure out ways to make it better. But you're not going to do that on your first day or when you're subbing. Like, you don't do that when you're, you don't show up as a sub and like put the hammer down and like, you're going to do this my way. Like, no, the cart goes, let it go. And then figure out along the way. Like,
damn. It's kind of hitting me that so much of the, hey, I need to do this my way is just kind of comes from insecurity. I feel like of like, well, if it doesn't go my way, I don't know how I can handle it or manage all the other personalities. So coming in with probably some, like, how did you prepare your confidence for that? And then we'll move on from this. I'm just kind of like still in the mentality of going to this big leap. And then day one kind of looked like for you.
I had been in direct support slots in arenas before. It's not like it was my first time in an arena. And something that I did a long time ago, which really, really benefited me, I was in a direct support slot on an arena tour for 45 shows. And it was, long, long months. I went to every department and asked them if I could load out with them.
Queen.
Because I was just like, I'm sitting here doing absolutely nothing after the show. Like, I could be learning, and I did. I went through most of the departments, you know what I mean? Like, I went through most of them. And they did. They let me load out with them, and they were kind. Like, I took down PA one day. I loaded out with the audio stage team one day. Nice. I did backline just for fun, just to hang out with backline guys. Like, I did video. I did, a couple of different things. They let me do rigging one night, and I was there until the last truck pulled out.
Did you avoid lighting? Is that the one you avoided?
I didn't do lighting and I didn't do set. I was like, I'm not gonna, they're just taking apart, totally, it's not like it's easy work, but I was like, I'm not gonna sign up for that. It's really hard.
But yes, God, that's so smart. You were there. Why not use that as your education? Yeah.
And I had watched them, me and the crew that I was on at the time would sit and watch them load in every day.
Yeah.
And they thought that we were just like making fun of them, but like I'm watching.
Yeah.
Like, and I always had been. I was always watching. I was always looking to see what I could learn. I was always asking questions. Yeah, I definitely called a few people and panicked for sure. But everybody that I called was like, hey, in nicer ways, they were just like, shut up. Shut up and go. Like, shut up and get out there. And I was like, okay.
I love that, man. That's good people in your life too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
When you were watching the load-ins, and let's not say it's for any specific tour, like, was there anything that you saw that you're like, oh, I kind of don't want to do it that way? And, oh, I definitely want to, like, were there certain things that you saw leadership-wise that you're like, oh, I want to take that into my next role?
Oh, totally. Yeah. There are countless things that I saw and said to myself, I don't want to be that person. I never want to speak to someone that way. I never want to put someone in that situation.
Like what?
That was like the one thing that I was talking to my best friend, Danny.
Yeah.
Who's also, he tours full time and we got started together. He was like, I told him I was going to do this. And he was like, don't talk shit. I was like,
Nikki's gonna try to make you. No, I'm not. No talking shit. But if you don't have to. I'm just gonna ask the questions. You can always decline.
No, for sure. But there are definitely things that just people treat other people. And I can look at that and say, like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to do that. You know, or the other side of the coin where like someone is able to be kind. And like we take kindness for granted, I think, out on the road because some people get out there and they're so jaded and they're so gruff about things that they don't think that they have the bandwidth even to be kind to other people.
Yep.
Or just think that someone is like a person
totally.
with a life, you know, outside of this thing. Like, how dare you? But like, it's so easy to be kind to people. It's so easy to consider them. It's so easy to run around with a couple of waters and make sure that someone had a water that day. Like, so many things are so easy. And I think when I saw people acting and treating others the way that I didn't want to do that, it just gave me more motivation to get out there and treat people well.
So cool.
Easy to
so
do.
cool. I'm like, I stand on this. Like, I feel like you have horrible bosses when you're supposed to be a leader so that you can see all the ways that you felt and you never want to make someone else feel that way. That's so cool. So, okay. I want to take it back. Went to school, you went to grad school to study engineering, audio engineering?
Yeah. My bachelor's is in audio engineering, in less words. And my master's is performing arts leadership and management.
Let's freaking go.
That's a really long title. But
yeah.
Just, you know.
Okay. And where did you study again?
I went to Shenandoah Conservatory in Winchester, Virginia.
Very cool. Was that always on your mind? Like, how old were you when you knew I have to be in this industry? I want to work in music.
You know, I was always in choir. That's kind of where I started, you know, church choir and then school choir, you know, from middle school, 6th grade, all the way to my grad school year in college, I was in choir and I loved it. And I didn't really know much about music production or anything like that. But when I was in high school, they made you do this, you know, a senior project.
Yeah.
And mine was at my local radio station. I'm from a little town and there's one radio station, Extra 99.1 FM, you know.
Nice.
and I went in there and asked if I could do my project there. And basically my senior project was going into the radio station every morning. They did this silly little morning show and they had little characters around my little podunk town, you know, just all kinds of weirdos and characters that came in there. And I was just one of them. Yeah. And so I would go in every morning and chat and talk and they would ask me about my life, you know, and one time, like, you know, my high school boyfriend came in with me and they just like embarrassed me and it was fun. And then, you know, my cumulative project was like running the show for a day.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's how I got into school. Since it's conservatory, you have to audition and you have to have an instrument. And so I went in a vocal emphasis and I just showed them this like work that I had done in high school and they were like, yeah, cool. Sweet.
Sick.
And so, yes, I started at school and kind of got into the engineering thing and then quickly realized that I did not want to be an audio engineer.
Dang. What about it?
I'm not a gearhead. I don't know where to look to say this most genuinely to a camera or anything, but with so much respect to all audio engineers everywhere, I'm not a nerd like that. Like, I don't care about like compression. I just don't care about it. But I knew that I cared about music awesome. And that I loved being involved in it and that I loved being around it and that I was passionate about it. My parents were a little strict. Sorry, Mom and Dad. But
no talking shit. Come on.
I just meant about people in the industry. Yeah. And I wasn't allowed to go to a lot of concerts as a kid. And so, you know, there's like a handful that I was allowed to go to, but I remember them, you know, very, very, very explicitly. And they're really great moments for my childhood that I was allowed to go do that. And so, you know, I'm in school and I'm realizing I don't want to be an engineer, even though I'm being an assistant engineer at this recording studio.
Oh, recording. Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, this is fun. You know, like classical music is cool. And we were doing cool stuff at the recording studio. It was a classical music recording studio and record label. And, you know, like we were recording the Iceland Symphony in surround sound.
Wow.
So like I got to go to Iceland for the first time and a second time and a third time and all this other stuff that was really, really cool at the time. But I was like, I don't want to be the one making the decision about moving this mic away from a tuba. Like I'll go do it. I don't care about that. Totally. But like I don't want to make that decision. Realized I didn't care that much. And so when I moved to Nashville, I was waiting tables at City Winery, which is right around the corner here. Ayo. You know, and they do shows and there was a concert manager there and she always answered my questions and she was super nice. And when she decided that she was going to leave, I had maybe been there 8 months waiting tables.
Yeah.
And when she said she was going to leave, I kind of like slid my resume in and I was like, hey, like, I get this thing. I've been here. I have these, you know, I have this degree. You know, at the time it was like useful, the degree.
Right.
Not so much now, but like at the time it was useful.
So
and
yeah.
And they were like, yeah, cool. Sounds good. And they decided to let me be the concert manager. And then, and then COVID happened. And then I was like,
wait,
there's no reason to be
on that concert managing, was this finally like, oh, this is what I like? I like
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like, you know, you're like signing contracts, you're doing deals, you're sending emails. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I got a taste for like advancing and all that stuff. But I was like, I really love to be like boots on the ground. And after the tornado, we did a benefit concert.
Oh, cool.
And I kind of like ended up stage managing it because there was no one else to do anything like that. And I was like, wait, I kind of like this. But then COVID happened and I was like, whoa, nobody knows what's going to happen now. That's kind of funky. When they started opening up, we went back and I started doing shows again. And I was like, this is kind of cool, but I think I might want to be like kind of get on the road. That might be cool. Sorry to Kermit.
It's like, where did Kermit come from?
And then, I kind of just like put a bid in to a buddy and was like, hey, if you hear of something, let me know. And I got a call and I was honest with the guy that called me, who's like a great friend and mentor now. And I was like, you know, I know how to advance shows and I know how like a day of show goes from the venue side, but I think I can figure it out and all this stuff. And he was like, cool. The first show I'm not going to be on. So I'm going to need you to TM, PM, stage manage, guitar tech. And there'll only be like 2 other crew members. It's like a bus and a trailer tour. And he was like, I'm not going to be there. Figure that out. And I was like, huh? And I just went, yeah, okay, cool. And that was my first show.
Yo, the most touring industry story ever.
Yeah.
But you were stage managing, yeah? You were doing that role or were you doing everything else?
I mean, I was doing everything. There was no one else to do anything.
Good.
You know, like we brought a fill-in front of house guy because the guy that called me, he was the TM front of house, I think.
Yeah.
And then we had monitors and that was it.
That's such a good start right there.
It was great. It was like, it was just kind of a like kick into the fire, you know? And I loved it.
There we go.
I got out there and I was like, oh, wait. I was like, wait a second. I really like it. I was like, ugh. And then I quit my job at City Winery.
Yes.
My comfy, cushy 401k having healthcare giving job and was like, yeah, I'm gonna get out here.
What did that feel like experiencing a new passion, like being like, holy shit, this is it. This is what I thought it would be.
I mean, it was awesome. Every time I describe it to someone, I was just hooked.
Yeah.
You know, like
totally.
I think a lot of people have that moment. They get out on the road and they're like, oh wait, I love this. Mm-hmm. And some people don't have that moment and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's a sign to get off the road then. Like if you get out there and you're like, wait, I might not like this. Like
it's just not for you. And that's okay.
And that's so good. That's so good. But if you get out there and you're like, wait, I really like this. I think the key thing is to have someone to like nurture that.
Ooh.
As long as there's someone out there that can say like, all right, you're into this, let's roll with it.
Yeah.
And not just like break your spirit.
Yeah, man.
But someone will.
Let's talk about that. Like, how soon into getting into it and being in it do you say someone breaks your spirit? Like, is it the person that has the bad attitude? Is it the person that questions you, that doubts you? Like, where does that come from?
I think it comes from somewhere different for everyone.
Yeah.
Because it depends on you, really. Because people are going to be, I'm really trying hard not to curse, but like people are going to be shitty. Like, especially on the road, someone's going to be having a bad day and they're going to take it out on you.
Yep.
And you just have to decide like whether or not what they're saying is valuable to you. Like, did you actually make a mistake? Because you might have. Mm-hmm. You may have actually made a mistake and you might need to learn from it. Or someone's just having a bad day and they want to take it out on you and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
So
like,
right.
You have to differentiate why someone is treating you that way. And then like move on from it, you know? Yeah. You either made a mistake. That very first show that I did, there was a stage manager and we're friends now, so I don't mind telling this story.
Yeah.
But he wasn't around. It was this big festival, you know, big country festival in the middle of nowhere. And he wasn't around. The act before us had finished up and they're like, okay, stage is yours. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm going to put my stuff on stage. And he comes out screaming and he's like, who told you to put your stuff on stage? And I was just like, you weren't here. And the guys told us that we could do the thing. And he was like, well, they're not the stage. And I was like, well, and I just looked at him, my very first show, and I just looked at him and I was like, well, it's up there now, so what do you want me to do? Like, do you want me to take it off? Like, do you want me to take it down? You want me to take it back down the ramp? What do you want me to do with it? It's up there now. Like, he's like, you were supposed to be a throw and go. And I was like, yeah, totally, for sure. I was like, we're here now.
That is such a good way to handle that shit.
Because it's like, yeah, okay, I totally should have asked you. Like, you weren't around. And I made a call and it was the wrong call. Totally happy to admit that it's the wrong call. I was like, but we're here now.
Yeah.
So like, what do you want to do?
What is throw and go?
You prep in the wings and like throw your stuff on stage. You know, you get a 30-minute changeover as soon as the first act or the act in front of you is done. They get off stage, you get on stage, and then you're supposed to, you know, throw your cables out, plug them in and go.
Got it.
That's how a lot of those like fast festivals turn around and work.
Did you do that? The throw and go?
No, I left my stuff on stage. He was like, well, it's already there. You might as well leave it there. And I was like, all right, okay. I was like, sounds good. Sweet.
Oh my gosh. See, that's just such a good attitude. And also spirit. Like, okay, well, we're here now. Yeah. That's someone that you want to work with instead of like, oh God, well, you weren't here. And it's over explaining. And I feel like, anyways, that is just like, I feel like people need to take that spirit, that attitude. That's great.
It is a serious thing being out on the road. Like, people can get hurt and you should take things seriously. But on the other side of that coin, we are not doing brain surgery. There is not that much that you should be getting upset about. Yeah. Unless someone did something genuinely dangerous, which is possible. Very easy to do something genuinely dangerous. And, you know, sometimes people lose sight of that. Yeah. But on the other side, again, like, it's not that deep.
Dude, I think for me, like when people started getting so upset about like the brand of beer or like seltzer, I was like, I don't think this is for me, bro. Like, I don't care about this enough to like, anyways. Yeah. So, okay. Very cool. You're doing this festival. Take me back. So where is this timeline wise?
This would have been mid 2021.
Okay, got it.
And I was with that act in a bus and a trailer for about 6 months.
Okay, really? Out the whole time, or were you doing?
No, it was Weekend Warrior.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So just kind of a 6-month timeline. And one of the artists ended up going into labor early. We had a tour planned from like January to March, and then she was supposed to have the baby, and then we were gonna take a break or whatever. And she ended up going into labor early, and the January tour got canceled. We were in rehearsals. And by in rehearsals, I mean we were in someone's living room with the band set up and the console set up. Shut up. It was fun. It was great.
Van tour, baby. Yeah. Let's go.
And we got the call that she had gone into labor early, and it all kind of we packed it up and headed out. And then I got a call that January to come out and be like stage manager / guitar tech. And then I was with that act up until this August when I was with Lainey. So I was with the same act from about 2022 on.
Oh, dang. Okay. And was it vans or were you in a bus?
With that act, I went from a bus and a trailer to 2 buses and a truck.
Oh, sick.
So we got to grow a little bit. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So that gig had ended. Did you have future things with that gig before going on Lainey, or was that kind of done and then?
Yeah, I did. You know, I was kind of in the middle of that gig, some things planned, and it just, you know, when Lainey popped up. No. Yeah, I couldn't have. And it was a tough call. You know, it's a tough thing to leave something that feels like home. You know, you've been with for so long, and you're really connected to those people and that artist. But, you know, I had really wanted more, and it popped up. I had to take it.
Yeah. So. Well, hey, congrats. That's a huge, you got it. It's kind of like anyone can see. You got to take that big opportunity. Yeah. So living in Nashville, did you have knowing, all right, I love touring. This is awesome being out. Have you had the moment of like, damn, I miss my just Nashville life? Because you were, you know, at City Winery, you were kind of planted. Have you ever had that where you're like, damn, I wish I had more time in Nashville? Or are you like, let's go out. Let's just go.
It's both for me. You know, I do love being at home. I like being a house cat for sure. You know, but I love going out too. I love doing shows. I love being a stage manager. I love all of it. You know, I enjoy it while I'm home. I enjoy it while I'm out.
Cool.
And I just make the best of it. You know, whatever time is wherever.
Can you talk to me about the role of stage manager? How is this different from production manager? Is there a stage manager for every gig, no matter the size? Like, take me through what that looks like for a theater, a club, an arena, a stadium.
I like to think of the stage manager as like the hand to the fingers. It's a weird way to say it, but just follow my little metaphor here. So your fingers are all your departments, right? You got your backline, your video, your audio, your lighting, your riggers, whatever you got. You got automation, whatever it is, pyro.
Yeah.
And someone needs to be the person that connect all those fingers, all those departments. Because those departments God bless them all. They get in and they're like, where's my truck? Where's my stuff? Where do I go? Where are my things? What do I need? And they're not thinking about another department. And that's not a bad thing. That's what they're there to do. Throw the lights in the air. They're to put the motors up. They're to literally put flames out in the air. Like, hello. And so I think that's kind of an easy way to explain just as like a general connector. So there's that. Stage manager is also responsible for like local labor. So, everywhere we go, we get local labor, and that depends. If you're in a theater, you might get 30 people on a call. If you're in an arena, you might have 80 to 100. If you're in a stadium, you might have 200. There's all kinds of levels to that. It's your job as the stage manager to make sure that your departments, because your show, your trucks, your departments, what they need. And so it's your job in the advance process, one, to let them know how many people you need and what general place you need them, because some places are more unionized. You go to Madison Square Garden, you need so many specific audio people versus, other IATSE folks that need to do X, Y, and Z, and they don't cross paths and things like that. And then you go to some place that's a little bit more chill with, it's just a labor company, and they're like, okay, you need 80 people. They'll be there.
Yes.
So that's a big part of it.
Got it. I want to dive into that a little bit more. When I was kind of being mentored and trained up my first few gigs, most of the TMs and stage managers and production managers were like these big burly guys. And I actually, when I was like 19, I had a mentor that was like, you got to deal with the steward. Like, you kind of need to be a man to, and nothing against my mentors. They're all amazing, but they're like, they'll just kind of push you around. They're tough. They're managing all these other hands who are all tough in their own way. And so without playing too hard on the woman card, I just like, how do you as a woman come in and gain the respect of stewards? And has it been easier than you thought or more difficult?
If you're a people person, stuff like that's easy. If you show up to any place, anywhere, and display the fact that your show, your trucks, your shit, if you show up and can put that on display pretty quickly, most stewards are easy to deal with. Like, they want to have a good day. They don't want to fight. They want to go home. And that's it. It's not too complicated. And maybe that's a gift that I have. Like, I can walk in and disarm someone pretty quickly. Like, I'm going to walk in and make a joke. I'm going to walk in at 5:30 in the morning for walk and chalk, and I'm going to shake your hand, we're going to chat, and we're going to get into it, and you're going to realize that I'm a goofball, and, I'm a little loud, I'm a little silly, whatever. Some of my crew chiefs show up in the morning, and I'm kind of bouncing off the walls, and they're like, how much coffee have you had? And I'm like, none. I'm just like this, like.
You scared yet?
I'm scared. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, let's go. Let's dump the trucks. That's easy because I walk in and I love this, and I love my crew, and I care about the local hands. Like, I see a lot of like local hand humor on the internet. Those are people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
I'm not here to make fun of people. I'm here to do the show. Yeah. All the same, and show up and also leave.
Yeah.
Like, I also want to get into my bunk. Like, I want to send the hands home. I want people to get out of there. I want everyone to have a safe, easy day. And I would like to be in my bunk by 2:00 in the morning so that I can wake up at 5:00 in the morning for walk and chalk again. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you do if not enough stage hands show up?
I really haven't had that.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like a thing that we're paying for it.
Right.
They
gotta make it happen.
Anywhere you show up, it can happen, but it doesn't happen a lot. Like, they are also people, again, and this is their job. A lot of them, this is their full-time gig. They're there to make money, make a living. And so they want to show up and do good work and have an easy day, just the same,
Totally. Just getting like down to it, nitty gritty, like in the details of this. So you show up, you figure out how many hands you have. Is there the same order of putting up a set? Like, so rigging comes in first and then lighting that. Like, is it usually always the same, or does it totally depend on y'all's build? How did yours look?
Most of the time it's the same.
Yeah.
Because some arenas are different, but most arenas are just circle. Most arenas are just like round space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes the grid is higher than others. Sometimes there's no dock, and sometimes there's a great dock. They're all the same and they're all different.
Yeah.
And it runs the same way pretty much every day. Rigging comes in, and then followed by, dimmer beach. You need power to run everything pretty much. You build kind of by what goes up and then what goes on the floor. You send set out to the floor. You send PA out onto the floor so they can come back in. I would dump PA and put it out on the floor so that they could come back to their points, and then I would dump video after them so video could come from behind to their points, so they're not like crossing each other in the vom, because sometimes you have one way in and out. There's like one stage right vom, and that's the only way you can get in and out. So if someone is already out and they come back and the other people are coming in, then you're not crossing traffic. There's a lot of traffic flow.
That's interesting.
My joke on the tour was that path is life. And I kept telling my guys that I would say that to them every day. Like I would send a loadout text with a little drawing of like where the where trucks were going to be in the dock and how things were going to happen, if we're going to have a parking lot party or if we're going to just like load out, straight into the trucks in the dock. And I would always just say like path is life, and I would label like where the clog zone is going to be. Like if we're going to get hung up and start tripping over each other, it's going to be right here, like, because that will happen. If people aren't, and again, it's that like, that's a big part of being a stage manager, is forcing other departments to think about other departments. Because they don't want to, and I don't blame them, but you have to. If we're all going to get out of here successfully in 2 hours, which we all want, everyone wants that, then we have to think about each other, unfortunately.
What departments have to interact the most?
Everyone has to interact with rigging for the most part, and everyone will kind of ends up waiting on each other at a certain point in time. Like lighting has to focus while audio sound checks, and so the set boys can't put up kabuki if lighting's not done focusing. And so there's, it becomes a little like not a ball downhill, but it becomes a little bit of a waiting game of like, well, they have to do this so that you can do that, and so that we can do this, and so then you got to put the openers on, and then you're just you're like, oh god, there's more
now. Oh god, interesting. And so your stage manager is just managing the chaos in the departments. How do you work with the production manager through all of this? What is their role with you?
The PM is more of the like advance person, They're the one making the big decision, looking at the big picture thing, saying, this is how this is going to look or how this is going to be presented. There are other people making decisions about like seats. In arenas, especially, you have to think about how many seats you're going to block as if you put up IMAG walls, stage left, stage right, you're going to block a certain number of seats in certain sections, and those people aren't going to be able to see. Those decisions have to get made, and so the production manager is really the kind of the ball roller.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
I'm trying to make a lot of references.
Oh, thank you so much. This is cool, and this is really helpful.
But yeah, they're kind of the front end of things, the decider. I'm kind of the boots on the ground girl.
Cool.
I show up in the morning and I'm like, I'm the one that's going to get it done during the day.
Yes.
And then if something big comes up during the day, then, it's going to go up to the production manager. But if not, like they have the freedom to check in when they want and be as involved as they want to be, or be in the office to answer emails, which is a huge part of the production manager's job, like emails and phone calls and all of those things. They deal with a lot of billing, which like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. The greater logistics, the greater picture of things is kind of the production manager. And then, like I said, I'm a super boots on the ground girly.
Yes. It's cool, your background in the audio and in the engineering world, kind of recognizing, man, I just need to be moving more. It's really cool to me that you had the audio experience and went straight into this stage manager role that is managing all of them and having to learn all of them. So like, how did you, is it at City Winery, is it at other gigs, learning like the dictionary of this world? Like, how did you learn all of to sound confident and to know what the fuck you're talking about too?
I think I spent a lot of time just asking questions.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time being honest about what I didn't know. And I still do that,
Yeah.
I think as a stage manager, you need to have a general idea about each department. You need to have a general knowledge of everything, but you don't need to be an expert in it. That's why you have crew chiefs, So like, I know that video needs to take up so many square feet for Video Village. Can I show them where I would like for them to be? Yes. Is it going to work for them? Probably. Maybe they don't want to go there though. Like, and then we have to talk about it. But they have to decide what's best for them with me.
Yeah.
And that's the same with lighting. I am no lighting expert whatsoever, but I know what they need. I know the kind of space that they need. I know the time that they need. That's another big thing, is to know like how much time each department needs for certain things. So I've just been honest when I didn't know stuff. I told them in my interview for Lainey, I was like, I would say my weak spot is rigging. I don't know a ton about the math of bridles or, weight calculation. I'm not good at math. I'm really, really bad at math. And they were like, oh, that's fine. That's not my job.
Yeah.
It's my job to understand how much time rigging needs. It's my job to make sure that the riggers are there to do that, to go up into the grid, to have what they need. And then it's my job to provide them with the storage space that they need.
There it is.
You know?
Yeah.
And I've just asked questions. I spent a lot of time in direct support slots in stadiums and arenas, and I just asked questions. I asked a lot of questions.
So awesome.
And maybe I was a little bit annoying, but that was okay. And because I learned who I could ask those questions to. When the time came and I had a question and I found the right person and they answered it to me, you know, kindly, I went back to them and I kept asking questions. I went through a tour. We were direct support in arenas, and I went to the production manager and asked him if I could load out with his departments, and he said yes. And so I just went through and loaded out with the different departments just for fun.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I just learned.
And there it is. There it freaking is. That also just proves like you so want to be there. Like if you didn't, you'd just be, Yeah,
like I easily could have been on the bus drinking and partying or whatever. Because, you know, in direct support, it's easy to do that.
Yeah,
you get done at like 9 o'clock and you can take your shower and get on the bus and party the night away if you want to. Or you could sit around and ask some questions. You know, I didn't do that every night.
Yeah,
like, you know, I don't drink now, but like at the time, you know, I could have I had a little bit of balance, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We had a little bit of fun. There are people out there. There's a huge older generation of people on the road. I'm sorry to say old. I don't mean it. I mean it, but
they respect that.
There's a huge older generation on the road, and a lot of them are eager to pass down the knowledge that they have. A really, really great mentor of mine, I called him to come do MSG with us this year. Because, you know, they have the giant ramp there. And
I actually don't. I've never been.
Oh, really?
Tell me about
it. They have a giant ramp up, like, it's like 3 or 4 stories. So your trucks dump on the ground in the parking lot on the street, and then these forklifts just haul everything up this giant ramp out into this, you know, area. And it's really, really helpful if you have someone down low and up high. And so if the person up high knows like where everything goes, and the person down low can just handle the trucks.
Yeah.
And, you know, as long as they know what truck needs to get dumped next, then they can handle that.
Totally.
So I called this mentor of mine, and we just got chatting. He was my parking lot guy for the day. Oh. And he was like, you know, Al, I'm really just trying to leave this better than I found it. And I think there are a lot of people like him in that older generation that want to pass on the information that they have, because so much of this, like you said, how did you get the dictionary of the thing? Like so much of this is passed down just verbally. Yeah. There's no handbook. There's no rule book. Like no one taught me how to be a stage manager. I just watched every stage manager I could and hoped that they would answer my questions and wouldn't be mean to me.
Yes. Dang, man. That's what I keep finding. I mean, I think that the older generation is like kind of part of the generation that started this whole industry. Like it's just not that old.
No, it's not that old.
And so with things so vastly different right now, and I think they all see the new workforce coming in, and they just have so much fear that any of what they built might go away, or anything that they worked so hard to get it where it is now, that they want to mentor and share all this. You just have to ask and be curious.
I think a lot of them really, really do.
Yeah.
I think some of them might just not know how.
Yeah.
And I think especially as like a woman, I think some, you know, again, not to do like the whole woman thing, because at the end of the day, like I'm still the stage manager, but I think a lot of them like don't know how to connect with women outside of like their daughters. You know what I mean? You get a little bit of like, you know, someone might call you a pet name here and there, and you have to discern like what their intention is with that.
That's huge.
You know, it's not, you know, I grew up in like a small little fishing town, and calling someone darling was like a sign of respect. Like, it wasn't like a childish thing or anything like that. Totally. It was like, how you doing, darling? Like, how's your mom and them, you know? And I think that some people are just like, there's a girl on Instagram, and she's a carpenter by trade, and she talks about this, about how like some men in that older generation only know how to connect with women by like, you know, because they have daughters. Yeah. And so someone calls you sweetie, it's like not necessarily like an immediate disrespect. Like it's a bid for connection. No offense, but like you can just pull your head out of your ass and just like let someone call you sweetie every now and again, and take that bit of, you know, for connection, and say like, you know, we could be friends about it. Like you might just learn something from that person. Like you might just gain that person's respect, and you might just gain a mentor out of it.
Preach. I could not agree more. To anyone who is offended by that, because they might not have grown up, I'm from the South too, and like that, I'm like, oh, how sweet. That's my little nickname for you now. I'm going to call you Bud, you know, whatever. Like maybe throw a nickname back at them and have it be this cool, like you're now joking with them dynamic. Like if you are offended by that, then just tell them too. I don't be called that. Okay, they won't. They don't really know what to do with,
they don't know what to do.
Women a lot. Yeah.
Especially like some of them have never been on a tour with a woman.
Right.
Some of them have never encountered a woman as a stage manager. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's, but I'm here now and I'm still in charge.
Hey girl,
I'm still a stage manager. You know what I mean? Like, and
that's such a cool way to look at it.
Yeah. It's easy to connect with people if you can just assume that things are bids for connection instead of assuming that someone's trying to like belittle you.
Yeah. And if they're trying to belittle you and you don't take it that way, it won't have any effect.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
So it really is just, you just stand on your own power and they'll be more upset that they didn't belittle you. Yeah. Please follow us, gigs.live. Give us a 5-star review, please. Really helps us out. 5-star on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on gigs at gigs.live on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things. And if you're not a Gigs member already, if you're working in the live event industry, go to gigs.live, become an employer and post jobs and find great people, or become a professional by joining as a professional and find your next gig. Two questions. One, are you forklift certified?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I really would love to be forklift certified.
Yeah.
I am CPR and first aid certified.
Love it.
I feel like that's a big one that a lot of us don't do. Mm-hmm. But I think way more of us on the road should be CPR, first aid, AED certified.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
Stop
sure.
the bleed. Like everyone should know how to use a tourniquet.
Yeah.
Like some missing pieces. There's a security guy out there just cheering right now because I even said the word tourniquet.
Yeah.
God, I love that stuff.
Well, and there are some really cool orgs like Safe Tour and Event Safety Alliance that are like trying to really bring this everywhere. So it's happening.
Yeah,
but yes. And so forklift. So then can you talk a little bit about going into the states where the union presence is very intense and like you have to be so careful on who touches what? Can you talk a little bit about that?
They are going to let you know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people out there will know what I mean when I say that, but like, they're going to let you know if they're going to touch that or not.
Yeah.
You know, you walk into MSG and you're like, oh, hey, I need this done. And they're like, oh, that's, IBW. Like, we're not going to do that. But I'll get you some. I'll go get you one of those
IBW?
guys. Oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher this. The International Brotherhood of like Electrical Workers. Is that
Oh
what it is?
wow!
I really hope that's what it is. I'm really hoping. Like I said, they're gonna let you know.
Got it.
And as long as you're not a jerk about it, like you're gonna have a great day. I walked into Chicago's another one. Like New York, Chicago. There are a lot of places up in the not in the Midwest, but the Northeast.
Yeah.
Are Pittsburgh. They're like super unionized, and that's cool. Like that's great. The union provides great benefits for most of those people, and it's a great organization for a lot of them to be in.
Totally.
And a lot of it is like really family heavy. A lot of those people are like, they're very, very related.
Cool.
By blood. Okay. And you're like, whoa, okay, cool. Like I walked into Chicago with the local there. I'm talking to the stew and we're kind of just chatting and I'm like looking around and I was like, you mean to tell me that like that guy and that guy aren't related? And he's like, oh, those are my sons. And I was like, oh. He was like, find the third one. And I was like, no.
How cool is that?
Yeah,
man?
and
Wow.
like I said, those union guys are gonna let you know, like they have their own rules, they know their own rules,
Yeah.
and they kind of know that you might not know their rules.
Yeah.
It's not intimidating if you go in and you're like, oh well, I don't. Just go in and tell them what you need, and they're gonna get it done. Because again, it goes back to like they want to go home, they're there to make a buck, and they know what they're doing. Especially in those union houses, those guys know what they're doing.
Totally.
Just let them. Put your ego down, and just you can't let everything happen.
Yeah.
But you could trust them for the most part.
How do you hold people accountable? I feel like stepping into a leadership role, any leadership role, that's something I have a really hard time with. I think because I care too much about people liking me that if I'm trying to hold someone accountable for something, I feel bad or whatever it is. And I'm trying to work on that. People are messing up or if things aren't getting done or people may not be performing it the way that you need them to. Like, how do you as a leader hold people accountable?
I feel like it's easier than a lot of people think because especially on tour, everyone wants to operate as this like unit. And if somebody's blocking the path, then I'm like, hey dude, you're screwing this up for literally everyone right now. I'm like I'll grab someone and be like, hey, stop what you're doing. Come here. Look at this with me. What do you see? Who can get through here right now?
Yeah.
Nobody. So who can get anything done right now? Nobody. And so it's just like, I think it's really easy to hold people accountable by reminding them that they're part of a team.
Yeah.
And saying like, hey, you're really messing this up for like everyone. Like, and I'm a helper, and maybe, a lot of stage managers won't do this, but like, I'll hop in and help you. Like, what do you got going on? Like, how can I help you open up the path right now?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What's going on? So you know, and eventually, like, if that doesn't work, if team building isn't going to get through to you, like,
yes,
you know, we can have a conversation. But at the end of the day, I feel like I've looked out a lot and I've worked with really good people who really care about what they're doing and the people around them.
That's cool.
And if I'm like, hey, like, you're goofing this up for literally everybody right now, they usually like can figure out a way to like work through it.
The answer is, so I just say that I'm just not I'm just disappointed, but like everyone's disappointed.
Everyone is really mad at you right now.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
And I think it's just being honest with people, like, hey, whatever you got going on right now is slowing X, Y, and Z down.
Yeah.
Like, how can we work
Totally.
on it? And then if it doesn't work with that person, you go to the crew chief and you're like, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what I need. Like, how can you help me? How can we do this together?
You seem like someone that can get along with like a lot of different types of people and like
Totally.
the best way.
Someone told me that I could talk to a wall once.
Yeah. That's why
I probably could.
I'm really glad I have a microphone in front of you. So thank you. Hell yeah. I texted Meg Miller before. I was like, dude, I'm so excited. I haven't met her yet. And she's like, she does things. Oh man, I got to look it up. But she was saying something like, you know, you're just doing some really big things and really shifting some stuff up.
I'm so thankful for Meg. I really am. Not just saying that because I'm on camera.
Yeah.
She's my boss. But you know, I'm really, really thankful for Meg. And
she's a beast.
The trust that camp has had in me for me to just show up and them to be like, all right, you're the person now.
Well, ain't that the story of Lainey anyways? I mean, I know she like 10 years in this town and then it was like an overnight sensation type of thing. Totally. But it seems like everyone on that camp had to experience that at some point. Isn't that what you want to build? Yeah. Anyways, is people all learning together. Yeah. So smart.
Camps will have that, you know, like you'll have those growing pains. You'll have that moment where you're like, oh, we're going to go from 1 truck to 5 or 3, you know, you jump up that ladder and everyone experiences it differently. And I think it's a real testament to Lainey and her camp, like how many people have been there from the beginning and how many of them are still there.
True that. What is one of the most like emotionally exhausting parts of this job that you might not have expected?
It's definitely something that I did expect. It's the constant decisions.
Oof.
And like I expected it, you know what I mean? Like that's part of the job is making the decisions. I think about this moment a lot. But I was on a bus and a trailer tour. You know, it was one of those days where like everything had gone wrong. The travel had gotten messed up. The bus broke down. The trailer didn't show up. You know, we showed up to the show with nothing and figured it out. Like someone, I think it was the Russell Dickerson crew at the time, like somebody was nice enough to like give us everything. Yeah. Like from packs to their kit, everything. Because we showed up with nothing.
Damn.
We ended up, there were 3 of us in a hotel room. I was in a bed, the monitor engineer was in a bed, and our tour manager, front of house guy was on the floor.
Dude.
A little bed on the floor. And he lays down in this makeshift little bed after this like just crazy day of like, you know, having to get a hotel, having to figure out how to make the show happen, how to figure out how to get to the next show, just decision after decision after decision. And he lays down in this makeshift bed and he goes, man, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and keep making more decisions.
Yeah, dude.
And I think about that all the time. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, wow, I can't wait to make decisions today. Like that is definitely the most taxing thing where like I have to be on all the time.
Yeah.
There isn't a moment where like someone is going to find me and ask me something. Because, you know, like the second I get done with the headliner, then the openers show up and they're like, where do I go? And I'm like, and I want to be so nice. You know what I mean? I want to be so nice and so helpful. And I care about the show and I care about people and I care, you know, I have a heart for the openers for sure. Yeah. Because I was in that slot for so long.
So important.
And I care about them and most of them are so nice and so eager, so sweet. And I want to help. I really do. But then, you know, you've gotten up at 5:30 for 6 o'clock walk and chalk. By the time the openers show up to get on stage, it's like 4 p.m. You've blinked and it's 4 p.m. You know what I mean? Okay. The next set of decisions.
You have 8 more hours left to go.
Yeah. Oh God, you've made more than that. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. And so like that is probably the most emotionally exhausting. Like that's where I get the most tired is like, man. But then I don't want them to make their own decision. Yeah. Like I don't want, you know what I mean? Like all the respect in the world, but like I don't want people just running around making their own decisions willy-nilly. Like I don't want that. Yeah. So that, you know,
recovering from that Yeah. So when you come home then after weekend warrior, after doing that, because I feel that to my core of like, I don't want to decide my workout. I just want to do a class. I don't want to decide where I'm eating dinner. Someone can decide. Like, I hate making those personal life decisions because I just literally, I don't care enough. What do you do when you come home?
Like I said earlier, I'm a huge homebody. I love to, and I'm the same. Like I go to a yoga class. I have a yoga studio that I go to. And I go there and I don't worry about, like, I don't want to decide what I'm up to. I just want to follow the teacher. I want to follow the leader. That's a happy place for me. I love coming home and going to a yoga class. You know, I have a roommate. He's a roadie too. And so on Sundays, I'll come home. We call it Sunday slop. And I'll whatever's like left, you know, from the week before, from whenever we went grocery shopping. It's, you know, it's usually like orzo and peppers and some like ground chicken or turkey or whatever, and I make it. And I love cooking is the thing, but I do decision fatigue for sure, and I'm like, man. And that's why I'm just like, throw it all in the pot, make it hot, and call it a day, you know.
Slop.
But yeah,
that's
slop.
great.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me realize at the highest level, like Steve Jobs just wearing the same outfit every day is
why choose?
And hey, roadies, you don't have to decide on what you're going to wear. You're going to wear the same black t-shirt, whatever it is. You're going to wear that uniform. It's actually really, really smart. I mean, it's really the only thing you can wear when you're that active, but you don't have to decide on that. You just out there. No one's doing a fashion show out there.
No, God, no. Like I'm a big packing cube girl.
Yeah.
And I pack one for if I'm doing a 3 in a row, I got 3 cubes.
So smart.
That's my Friday, Saturday, Sunday outfit. And it's like, it's pants and a shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got a crew shirt. I'm going to wear that. Like,
yeah.
No problem. You give me a crew hoodie, I'm going to wear that.
Do you sleep, do you put that cube in your bunk that night so that you just, do you change in your bunk?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll do it in the back lounge. Yeah. But like, my bus is pretty busy, you know, because I'm on the early bus. So everyone's up at, 5:30 to get in the building. So sometimes I'll just like knock it out in the bunk and come out and brush my teeth and, call it a day.
Do you have special pants that you wear?
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on
Can we talk about it? Because I could never figure out the right pants to wear.
Listen,
that like held a radio well, that breathed, that didn't have like a tight,
that's
waist.
I struggle with pants. And also as a tall girl, I'm like 5'10".
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I got my ankles out now. I keep looking over, I'm like, oh, look at my ankles. Pants are definitely what I struggle with the most. And I think if you're a girl out there and you got pants recommendations, please. I'm begging you. I
want to start like a gigs clothing line that's like actually like for like what you can actually wear that isn't.
Like Carhartt put out those Carhartt leggings, but they don't have belt loops. How am I supposed to? And like I'm a radio vest girl. I always have been a radio vest girl.
Ooh.
Because I can run in and pee
so smart
without having to take everything off my belt. I just knock it out. And with the vest too, if I'm doing something with my hands, I can just kind of like cue my radio with my chin, which is like not great. Like I should just put down what I'm doing and like answer the radio.
That's so smart.
But like, if I'm, especially like when I was on a smaller tour, if I was like up under something doing something, I'd just be like, no, don't do it.
That's really smart. I never did that. I feel like that would be real nice. Just have it right there.
Yeah, and then you have a couple other tools on you all the time. Little C wrench, little Leatherman, a little like tape cutter type of thing.
Can you throw some gaff tape on that too?
Sometimes there are a few pictures of me and our production manager where it buckles in the center. We'll unbuckle it and put a roll of gaff there.
I
and
love
then
it.
You got like a roll of gaff hanging out. Like there are a few pictures.
Someone
like
just
that,
take it and
I love that. You can do that. Yeah, you keep e-tape on your radio antenna just like everyone else. And,
I always ask people like, what is like a tool or something that you bring out that like you gotta have that thing for you to feel like you can do your job really well?
The vest is definitely my like little safety blanket. Having all that stuff on there, especially when I was, like I said, on a smaller tour and people were a little bit more reliant on me to do things. Now in arena tours I have a giant lighting crew and a giant video crew and a huge audio crew, and there isn't a lot of things that fall to me unless I say like, oh, I can hop in and help and do that. Like there's a picture of me like rolling up the climbing ladder.
Let's go.
As the truss comes in, I'm just like sitting on the floor like rolling it up like this. I love it. And like I'll hop in and do stuff like that, but now I definitely need less tools than I used to. But I'm a Leatherman girl. I keep a Leatherman on me. I keep a little tape cutter on me.
Yeah. Do you put that in like a Pelican? How do you fly with this stuff? Just keep it in your
I'll throw it
case?
in a Pelican if I need it, but
I'm getting so like logistical with you. I'm sorry.
It's great.
Like
it's
diving
great.
deep.
It's hard.
It's interesting.
It can be hard to travel and like know how to get places sometimes with all your gear, all your things. And I used to stage manage and guitar tech.
Okay.
So I used to need a tuner and a cable and a blah 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 blah. And again, I don't need that stuff anymore.
Do you play guitar?
No.
How do you guitar tech?
You just hope and pray, I guess. It's my very first gig when they called, they were like, we need someone to guitar tech, and that was where I ended up being like the TM and the PM for my very first gig and all this other stuff. For me, at least, going to music school, like I know how to tune, I know how to hear. In conservatory they send you through, they call it aural skills. Aural skills.
Okay.
And it's not oral skills, it's aural.
AUR?
Yeah.
Aural.
Heard. And they're making you listen to something and say like, oh, this is that interval or this is that note. You're like, things like that.
Sick.
And so, I'd already done that. So I knew generally how to do that, but I just sat in a friend's studio that had a tuner. He set me up with a guitar and a cable and a tuner, and he was like, practice.
Yeah.
Like tuning a guitar is easy.
Yeah.
Everything else is the hard stuff. The setup, the changing the strings, the, intonating it, like dealing with the neck and stuff like that's the hard stuff. Like if you have any general musical knowledge at all, like tuning a guitar is generally easy.
Totally.
And so I just like fumbled my way through being a guitar tech for a while until nobody needed me to be a guitar tech anymore.
Graduate from the multi-hat and you just have one job. That's how you know you made it in this industry. What are you? I'm just a stage manager, baby. Yeah. That's a big deal. Do you still do photography, or was that just kind of something that you took on when you wanted that gig? Okay.
Yeah, that was just something that happened. It was just a way to really get my foot in the door, and it worked.
Yeah, man. Hey,
it worked great.
10 years from now, what do you hope to personally and then professionally, like where do you hope to grow, and what do you hope to kind of look back 10 years ago and be like, damn, like look how far I've come?
Jumping onto this gig is a big thing for me. I had been talking about, wanting more, wanting the bigger show, wanting the bigger gig. It took some time and patience and some work, and I was just really hoping that I would be doing the right work, the right time for the right person to see. And all that stuff paid off. I feel really, really thankful to be on a gig like this right now. And I think in 10 years, I'll still feel that way. I'll look back now and know that I stepped up the best way that I could in the timing that I had.
Totally.
Even right now, not even 10 years away or whatever, like I'm proud of the way that I stepped up to the folks out there. I'm proud of the crew. The crew is nominated for Crew of the Year at the Touring Awards, and I'm so proud of that. I love leading this crew, and I will always be proud of stepping into this role, hopefully crushing it. I mean, that's the word on the street.
Seems like you already are, bro.
I'm proud to do that for good people that I work with and for myself and all those things. So
that's so awesome, man. Some lightning round questions.
Oh, wow.
Even that, whatever. It's just little fun questions. What was the first concert you ever went to?
Shoot. My first concert was Avril Lavigne and Butch Walker at the Hampton Roads Coliseum.
Yo, Virginia, baby. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said that you didn't go to weren't allowed to go to a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
Can you remember a few that were just like those big standouts growing up?
The few that I went to, I remember I went to the Norva, and I saw Coheed and Cambria at the Norva.
Okay.
And if you know anything about that band, they have this song called Welcome Home, and it starts with this like crazy acoustic intro, and it's chill, and then the drums kick in. It's this insane, whatever. I'll never forget. They started their show with that song, and it's all dark. It's pitch dark. The lead singer, his name's Claudio Sanchez. He walks out on stage and plays this acoustic intro, and then the drums kick in and it lights up. It goes insane. And I might have been like, I don't know, like 14 or something like that. I will never forget that moment. I think about it all the time.
Have you seen them since?
I actually haven't.
Dude. If they're touring, get out there.
I think they are.
Wow.
But no, I haven't seen them since. But I think about that moment all the time.
That's so sick.
I was so awestruck by it. And this mosh pit opens up in front of me. There's like the bouncer guy with the plastic gloves, like, beating people back. I remember like making eye contact with him and being like, hi. Like I was just a little kid.
Can I get up in there?
Yeah. He was just
That's
like,
so fun.
Is that a child? I was like, yes.
You need to go to that again and let me know.
I should.
So sick. Who is a dream artist that you haven't worked with yet that you'd love to work, maybe because you admire their music?
Dream artist. This is probably a little nerdy, but I love Vince Gill.
Dude, that's not nerdy at all.
I love Vince Gill.
Yeah.
I've always been a Vince Gill stan. That was what I did for my birthday. Actually, this year, he played his like final show of the tour at the Ryman.
Oh,
My boy played for 3 hours straight.
dude.
He played like he went on I think at like 8:45 and he got up there and he's like, we gonna play till midnight. And he
go.
did. He played for hours. It was awesome.
I just saw him at the Sphere with the Eagles, and the best show I've ever
I'm
seen.
going to see him and Amy at the Ryman in a few
Yes!
weeks.
Oh,
I'm
the
so
Christmas
excited.
show. Let's
Oh
go.
God, it's beautiful. I can't wait.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you conducting the interview? Oh, wait, can you wait?
Yes! Oh God, I loved it. I loved it. He gets up there and he goes, "It's not lost on me that they had to have two ladies sing my song." And I was like, yes, it's
true.
I love that man.
Ain't nobody has a voice like that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you live in Nashville. Yeah,
I know.
I could definitely see that happening. What's your go-to road meal or snack?
Cup of bacon.
Excuse me?
Bacon cup.
A cup of bacon?
Bacon cup.
Oh, like from catering? Just get a cup of it?
Yeah. You grab a cup, like a coffee cup. And
Yes.
you put bacon in it, and you head back out because you got stuff to do. Bacon cup. Everyone knows bacon cup.
Bacon cup.
Yeah, bacon cup.
Dude, yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
TM
Sometimes my front of house lighting tech, Jason, would walk back in with the first time he did it. He handed me a cup of bacon, and I grabbed like one piece out, and I was like, "Tasty bacon." And he's like, "No, the cup is for you." And I was like, "Really?"
Oh.
That's how I knew that I had made it in the crew when I was getting brought cup of bacon.
Yo, is that like your thing too? Or do other people?
No, that's like a thing. That's like
yeah,
a thing.
a
That's
thing,
like a
yeah.
roadie universal like
Yeah,
bacon cup thing.
for sure. You just gotta-
You got bacon, you got coffee, and then you go. You know, you keep going.
Bacon cup, baby. What is your favorite venue to work?
Favorite venue to work? I don't know.
Or one that you might be going to soon that you're excited to go to? Do you like working MSG?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the guys are not. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? The guys are not. Everyone's kind of afraid of it, but the guys are nice. MSG is cool. It does give you that kind of like that little warm feeling.
Yeah.
You know, on the
Totally.
inside. You know, MSG is great. I love an amphitheater too. A lot of them, they can be on the smaller side.
Yeah.
At least in the dock, in the storage realm. So that can be a challenge,
Right.
but that's always fun. You know
Right.
what I mean? You show up with 9 production trucks, a merch truck, and you know, and you're like, where am I going to put all this stuff? And then your opener's like, we have a truck too. And you're like, oh my God, where am I going to put all this stuff?
Yeah.
And that's always fun. But the arenas are big and cool and fun. But the amps, there's, you know, it's a bigger capacity out there too. You like look out at the
Yeah.
lawn and you're like, oh crap, there's a lot
More
of people
fun
out there.
Yeah. And outside's just better too.
Sometimes
Depends.
Yeah, like if you catch a stadium show on the right night,
Yeah.
it's kind of magical.
Yeah.
Like I did a stadium run with Chesney. We were first to 4 in the stadiums, and you know, you're all packed up by the time he goes on, and it's
Yeah.
dark. It's summer, and so it's warm, and it's, you look up and you can kind of see the stars depending on what city you're in, and you're like, there's thousands of people around, and you're like, wow, this is kind of
Yeah.
magical.
It is. There's so many people here. It's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
Do you have like a pre-show ritual?
Cup of coffee.
Cup bacon.
No, well, the bacon's gone
That's
by
the
then.
morning.
Yeah, I mean, you know, try to sneak a nap in if you can. There's a few pictures of me napping under a desk
Yeah.
from this tour. If your production manager is nice like mine, he'll open the doors, and so you can nap while
That's cool.
But yeah, you know, have a cup of coffee. Usually I have the openers to deal with as well.
Oh,
So it's like
right.
I got to get them off and packed up and handle that and make sure that that's good.
The changeover and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
So cool that you were with openers for a while to like really see that whole side and how to treat them and how to,
Totally.
That's so cool.
there are a lot of people out there that taught me how I don't want to treat openers. There's a lot of those people out there.
I want to make we want to make a merch shirt that says openers are people too.
Should make one that says local crews is, you know,
Or people too.
local. Yeah.
Yeah,
however that-
local crew or people too. Yeah, I like the rhyming too. And then this is a dumb question, but if you could put like road life or your road life in one word or a couple words.
silly.
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 You're so awesome.
I like to be silly. Like
Yeah.
I really, you know, it's the balance of being silly and having fun and remembering that this is a fun, cool job that so many of us are so lucky to do. And it's also serious. There are genuinely dangerous things that can happen to you. You know, there are a lot of things that can happen that can make you different in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's important not to lose sight of that, but it's also important to remember that this is a very cool job that all of us are very lucky to do.
So cool, man. You're awesome. I'm so happy that you did this and that I know you now. And I can't wait to just watch what you do over the next couple of years. So
we'll see.
Thank you for this.
Yeah.
You're freaking awesome. And I'll see you at the Touring Awards. Let's freaking go. I'll be cheering for you.